You are welcome to the Wealthy Continent channel, a channel dedicated to the great people and continent of Africa. Remember, it is not the place that defines the status of the people. Rather, it is the people that defines the status of the place. As we continue our journey of financial literacy, we're going to be looking at the topic, are you paying or earning interest? Interest is the reason why some people are financially in bondage while others are enjoying financial independence. So you have to know what part of the fence you are. Now, we're going to be breaking it down. There are things that we know, there are things that we've been taught, but we need to know how these things affect our life. Now, while in school, I think late in primary school or early secondary school, in the mathematics lessons, the topic of simple interest and compound interest was, shared by the teacher to the student. And simple interest just means that, you have an amount, whether you borrowed an amount or you deposited an amount, you are just going to be paid interest once. And the calculation is taught back in school. The same thing applies to compound interest. The calculation is different because that is, you are going to get your interest, but the next time it's calculated, it's just going to be, you are going to get interest upon the principal and interest again upon, the interest. Then that keeps rolling over. And that is why it is compounded. That was taught to us back in the day in the maths class. The funny thing about life is the same thing is applicable today. Financial services still use simple interest and compound interest, whether in lending or in borrowing money. Whether to a customer who is investing money, they say, we're going to pay you this much in simple interest. Now, you have to understand how it works, and you have to understand for how long does it work and what type of interest are you paying or are you earning. I'm going to be looking at 4 areas that we're going to be talking about in this video. And you have to determine at the end of the day, what works for you? Are you just paying interest or you are earning interest? The number one thing is people who just go to the bank for whatever reason to borrow money. The bank is not going to just give you a free loan. They're going to be charging you interest. And most of the time, it's going to be compound interest. That means it's going to be compounding for whatever period of time that you're going to have that loan. Now, people who keep on delaying and don't pay, because when you go and borrow is a risk, you are borrowing against something. And if you don't pay on time, the interest will be compounding and compounding. The principal will be rolling, the interest will be compounding. And that is how people find themselves in financial mess. Now, in doing this, they're making the financial services rich. And if somebody has signed an agreement with an individual based on this contract, they are making that individual rich because they are paying interest, and because they are not paying it on time, or they've agreed for a long period of time, they pay a lot of money in interest. And that is why financial services, you see them, they are buoyant. People who operate this kind of lending, they are buoyant because people are making them rich. The principal is there, but it's interest upon the principal, interest. You don't want to be in that shoe. Now, with borrowing, there's risk. The second thing are investors. If you speak to an investor who wants to know, okay, what are you going to pay me in interest? If I give you my money for this period of time, how much interest are you going to be paid? So the investor too can agree whether it's going to be a simple interest or compound interest, but they want to know, and they now calculate, okay, at the end of the period, this is how much you are going to pay me. Remember, an investment as well has risk. There's no risk-free area. Whether you are lending, whether you are depositing money, whether you are investing, there's an element of risk in everything. Now, the number 3 set of people are those who borrow money. They've calculated the interest, they calculated what they are going to do, and at the end of the period, they know that they are still going to have cash flow. They are going to have money remaining. They are going to have profit. So they don't mind paying the interest as long as they have a profit on their side as well. There are businesses who would engage in this, individuals will engage in this, but always remember there's always a risk element, so you must do your homework and do it well. The number 4 set of people are people who don't have any payments. They are not borrowing and they are not earning any interest. Now, they tell you that, life is one. You live for once. So everything they earn, they spend it all. Now, it's not the best place to be. Now, you can say, yes, they are not borrowing. That's a good way. That's a good lifestyle that you're not borrowing. But you have to earn, because if you're going to build wealth, you have to earn interest. You have to have profit. That means you have to invest your money. So over a period of time, the interest too will be compounding and compounding and compounding. These are the things that the rich will do. These are the things that wealthy people will do. And there's nothing stopping you. Wherever you are, whether in Africa, whether in diaspora, you have to start from somewhere. When you start earning interest, then your money is working for you. When you become an investor, your money is working for you. You have to come to this stage. Don't just be paying interest. You don't have to pay interest if you don't borrow. And if you are borrowing, you have to consider, what are you borrowing for? Is it the best way of doing what you are doing? Now, whether you are paying interest or earning interest, it is your call. But I want you to think about it. What makes sense? Do you want to be making others rich, or you want to make yourself rich? If you have been getting value from our videos, we'd like you to consider subscribing to this channel, clicking on that like button, and sharing with others. Remember, a candle does not lose its value by giving light to others. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time.